Hi, I'm Kurt, and this is Troll, our 1978 Trillium molded fiberglass travel trailer. Troll stands for Trill of a Lifetime. Hi, I'm Kurt, and welcome to the Kurt and Kerry Trill of a Lifetime YouTube channel. Our project for today on our little 1978 Trillium 4500 travel trailer is a very simple, straightforward one, relatively speaking, and shouldn't be a very long video. When we first bought Troll many years ago, she had curtains that I don't think were original, may have been. They kind of went with the fabric in the seat covers and stuff, but of course we didn't like them and got rid of them very quickly. To replace them, we decided to go with blinds, and one of the things my wife wanted was to make sure that they came down and covered the windows. We could open the louvers and allow air inside to flow inside the trailer, and that was great. We did that and lived with them for a few years. The fiberglassrv.com website, when we were checking for ideas on that front, gave us some good information. One of the first was to go with vinyl blinds, because metal blinds, particularly above the sleeping area here, people often hit them, they make a lot of noise, and really aren't that nice. They get bent. Well, the vinyl blinds that I was able to find, I paid a grand total of $15 for, to do the 4 large windows in our Trillium 4500. Basically on a clear out through the local hardware store. And like I say, they've worked fairly well for us, but we're ready to replace them right now. There are a couple of real downfalls in these things. The first and the most awkward one is that they require a lot of work to set up, to get ready to travel, and in order to keep them from breaking, from banging around, they need to be pulled up to the top and strapped in place. So I'll give you an indication of what that looks like. Other than that, they really aren't a problem, and we just are ready for a change. Okay, the biggest problem with these blinds in our trailer is that for traveling, they have to be tied up in order to keep from banging around in transit and damaging themselves or damaging the inside of the trailer. In order to do this, Kerry came up with a series of Velcro bands that could be left hanging on the top of the trailer, or the top of the blinds. And then the blinds could be lowered into place, and we could have adjust the amount of light that comes in or out. So that works fairly well. It does cover the window. They're vinyl, so they don't make a lot of noise when they get bumped in the night. They do let light through, they do let air through, but Kerry's decided we need to change them out and come up with something better. A couple of years ago, we redid all the cushions here in our Trillium and took the old ones out, used the old foam as a pattern to get new foam and to sew up new cushions. In order to modernize it and make it a little bit interesting, we went with a brewery theme, which is great for me because I love beer, craft beer especially, and the thicker and darker the better. So this brewery theme that we found is a custom fabric that we ordered from the States, and has a lot of orange and yellow and some brown in it. So hence we went with a lot of orange colors in the interior of our Trillium. Well, to do new curtains, we're going to use exactly the same fabric that we used for the cushion covers here in our Trillium. So Kerry's sewed them up already based on the design that she wants, and we're going to come up with a little bit different way to hang them up here in the Trillium. Here is one set of the curtains that Kerry made to cover the windows in the Trillium now. And basically she's got the little tabs on the top for a curtain rod to go through. Now, we didn't want to go with the typical old style RV curtain rods because they tend to be cheap looking and bend very easily and often don't look very good. And we didn't want to go so far as to try to create fancy valance hangers like in many of the expensive RVs that you find on the road nowadays. So we decided that we wanted to come up with something else. So, in keeping with the beer and brewery theme, I came up with the idea to use the plumbing, because every brewery has lots of plumbing. So, 1/2-inch copper pipe to go through the tabs. Like that. A standard cap on the end, and it would fit on about like that. And then to support it on the wall of the trailer, what they call a bell clamp or bell support that would clamp onto the pipe. Might have to approximately like that. So that would hold it away. The curtains could be opened or closed as required. So we just need to come up with a measurement for the length of the copper pipe that we need and get it built up. Because each of the tabs is 1 5/8 wide roughly, almost 1 3/4, we should create the rods so that they're at least 1 3/4 beyond the edge of the clamp, which basically will line up with the edge of the window frame in the trailer. Time to take down the old blind hardware. Anybody interested in some slightly used blinds? The front and the back windows in the Trillium are both about 48 inches across, outside of the aluminum frame to the outside. The port and the starboard windows are 36 inches. So my plan at this point is to install the bell clamps approximately like that, so that the edge of the clamp is in line with the aluminum frame. Then I have to allow for the tab on the curtain, which is about 1 3/4 inches, and a 1/2 inch for the end cap to fit out beyond the end of that. So that makes the front and back windows, the rods have to be about 53 3/4 inches long, and the two side windows each about 41 3/4 inches long. So the next thing on the agenda is to cut those down and get them ready to put together. Okay, I have one 12-foot piece of 1/2 inch copper tubing and one 6-foot and a couple various very much shorter lengths that won't be long enough to use in this project. So first thing I need to do, cut two pieces for the front and back windows, 53 3/4 inches long. $53 3/4. Now to cut these, we'll use good old-fashioned plumbing tool, tubing cutter. Exactly what it was meant for. There's is just shy of 91 inches. So instead, I'm going to do the two half pieces here, the two smaller pieces at 41 3/4 inches each. There we go. Two at 53 3/4. Two at 41 3/4. And a few extra spare pieces. The tubing that we have here has glue from the barcode sticker on it, and it also has
markings indicating the standards of specification of the that the tubing is built to, and we want to get rid of a lot of that. So we're going to give all the pieces a good wipe down with a little bit of solvent and or turpentine. So that's next on the agenda. Got some lacquer thinner here. I'm going to try to clean these up a little bit. We'll see how that works. And this is the original curtain material that was in the trailer when we first got her. Put it to some good use.
Yeah, because it stinks in here.
Yeah. That got rid of all the goop on there, but some of the markings are still on here. So I'm just going to give it a quick polish with some fine steel wool. There we go. 4 of them all nicely cleaned up, and that's removed most of the markings from the copper. So we may need to spray with a lacquer or some kind of a clear finish, but we'll wait and see what happens if they corrode at all. Next, we're going to attach the end caps to the end of our copper pipe curtain rods. Normally these would be soldered on using metal solder and a flux, but I'm not really good at that, and it tends to discolor the metal a little bit, and isn't really necessary for this because we don't need a watertight seal. So I'm going to use a little bit of JB Weld, good high quality strong epoxy, 2-part epoxy, and we're going to mix a little bit of this up, just put some inside the caps and slide them on to the ends of the tubing. Unfortunately, the JB Weld is not clear, so it can be seen, but I'm going to try to put it in a spot so that it really isn't visible. The trick with epoxy is that it needs to be mixed together well. And there we go. Caps on both ends. Those didn't really need to be on there really hard, but those will stay. I've been a mechanical engineer for most of my career life, and a portion of that was in the industry selling pipes, pipe hangers, valves, and fittings. So when we started working on this project, I had a pretty good idea as to how I wanted to make it work. And these little brass bell hangers I thought would be ideal to mount the tubing off the wall of the trailer. So I went to the hardware store and picked up a couple of these and brought them home, and Kerry and I worked out how we were going to do the project and decided, yep, that's going to work. But in the time between when I bought these, which was last summer, almost a year ago now, and now when I went to buy more, the hardware stores aren't carrying them. They've got a cheaper steel or plastic version that people are expected to use, or most houses, particularly new construction, are using PEX, polyethylene tubing, and therefore don't require the same type of support that old style copper tubing needed. So I couldn't get any more. So I ordered a package from Amazon. Of course they have it. A package of 10. Yes, excellent. So I got a package of 10 from Amazon at a reasonable price, that I thought was a reasonable price, plus shipping, and it only took about a week to get them here. But in the meantime, I did a little bit more shopping around, and I actually found that these are available from some of the plumbing wholesalers around town, and I could have gotten what I needed at probably less than half the price that I paid for these at Amazon. Oh well, you learn and you live. Either way, it's still going to work, and it's not an overly expensive project. These bell clamps come with an included brass screw to attach them onto wherever they need to go. Unfortunately, that screw is a little bit too long. I'd say it's about a good 1.25 inches that it would go into the wood. And in the trailer, in this application, we have a thin layer of ensolite that will be compressed somewhat by the screw and the clamp, and then 3/4 of an inch or so of plywood frame that's holding the window in place. And I expect that this will try to go through the fiberglass outer skin of the trailer, that it's probably just a little bit too long. So I'm going to have to pick up some replacement screws for this, and I need to get a few other pieces of hardware for another project, so I will get those and we can continue along on this project. Until then,
I just want to stop here for a minute and point out that now, before we go on to the next step, would be an ideal time to reseal any windows and repair any of the exterior wood or the wood framing that helps support the windows. If that wood is rotten, blinds and curtains aren't going to get a good grip and could fall down, could lose a window.
with these old trailers, it definitely is a good idea to regularly take the windows out, check the wood supports, replace them as necessary, reseal them with the proper sealant, butyl, butyl tape, and tighten everything down. Right now, I'm not going to do that. I've redone my windows fairly recently, so we're going to just put these in and hang our curtains. So I brought shorter brass screws to replace the ones that came with my bell clamps. So we're just going to use those. I'm going to try to line the edge of the bell clamp up with the edge of the window frame and the bottom of the bell clamp with the top of the window frame. So let's see how that goes. And then we just use one of the bars to make sure everything's aligned properly. Guess the longer one will help with that. And that should work about like that. Now we do the rest of them. Now we have to iron the curtains because they've been folded and in storage for a while and are a little wrinkled. Now we hang.
And there we have brand new curtains. Now we just have to do the other 3. So that's our curtain installation project. It was not how to make curtains for a Trillium trailer. I'm sorry, that's not my cup of tea. That's my wife's expertise. And I'm afraid she's not willing to show that to you because she doesn't like to get in front of the camera. But I think that's turned out pretty well. It's a fairly sturdy installation. There shouldn't be too many problems with it, but I do have a few extra of the bell clamps, so it would be very easy to install another one in the middle of the bar, particularly the longer ones on the front and the back of the trailer. That's probably where we'd need them if we need them. The other thing is that this design could also be put to use in a number of different ways. A shorter piece of pipe and 2 bell clamps could become a towel rack, a tool rack, a handle for drawers, or a very small piece of pipe coming out could be a small drawer knob, and all kinds of different options. Longer, taller piece of pipe could be a hook. There just seems to be like all kinds of different options that we could offer here. So that's our trailer curtain project for this year. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Please give a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. I'd love to hear more from you. And if you want to watch more videos, please let me know what you might be interested in. Thanks again for watching, and we will catch you later.